No sail on the mast. This boat is sinking.
Why don't you sing along? It's your birthday bump.
There's too much in my head right now. I've got nowhere to slow.
This is Kevin's favorite Toad the Wet Sprocket song.
Oh, this is who that is?
I like all of them. This is my favorite.
2 hits.
Kind of melodic, though.
They are.
I could go back and probably really appreciate Toad more than I ever did.
You know who else had 2 hits?
I went back, and that's how I've gotten back in it. Just never
going
really
back.
was a huge fan, but just now listening to it.
It's weird like that.
Yeah.
John Mayer played it. He would on the channel. He'd love it.
I like the John Mayer channel on Sirius XM. I am a fan. What's wrong with John Mayer? What are you laughing
I
at?
just can't get that into him. I don't know.
Well, because
Bill
you like
wants to.
heavy. You like
like
heavy.
it heavy.
Yeah, you like that fucking beat your
Body's a borderland. Yeah.
You're Metallica. Did you ever get into Striper?
No.
How about
What was the Christian one?
Striper was the
Striper
Christian
is
one.
the Christian one.
The
I like Slipknot.
Slipknot.
Yeah.
All right. AC/DC.
That's like
it's a
not
little more
heavy.
mainstream.
That's like mainstream medium rock.
Yeah. I like the singer-songwriter stuff. Let's see.
5-Finger Death Punch.
Yeah, who's the like? I'm trying to think of somebody. Isn't there someone with a P? It used to be. What about Iron Maiden?
Have you ever heard of Meshuggah?
Yes.
That song Bleed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great Jewish rock stars.
Yes, they are. It's phenomenal. It's
Favorite Jewish heavy metal band.
Lots of
They're from, like,
comments.
Were you
Sweden.
thinking Pantera?
I probably was thinking of Pantera.
Pantera,
yeah.
yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah. I never got into heavy metal stuff.
No, never cared for it.
Metallica, I never minded. I like some of their stuff, but yeah, I never got into the heavy. But man,
I'm with a bunch of softies here.
Yeah, you
I
are.
see.
Softies. Yeah, okay. Softies. All season long, we've been talking to Peter Montemerno, who is a St. John Fisher grad, and I think I'm going to say a coach, right?
Yeah, he coaches football. He also does college football.
Huge Ramstein fan, too.
D2 analyst for Time Warner Sports in Charlotte.
Peter.
Bill,
How are you, sir?
we've come to our last show, and it's kind of sad.
Well, we were just saying, if the Lions win, do we continue on? Would you be willing?
You are the man. You're the man. Sure.
If you're willing. Wow, Kevin was Kevin's idea.
We've brought them luck, so we got to keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, 100%. Happy to do
Clearly
it.
wasn't the fact that they're winning games. It's us.
So,
You never know. You never know.
what uniform will we see Stephon Diggs in next season?
Buffalo Bills.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
He didn't. Where did he go? Did he go on vacation during this?
I don't know,
shot.
Bill. I don't know. It's such a conundrum with that guy. I mean, yeah, his production over the past 10 weeks is what, 1 touchdown, I think?
Peter,
Not even close to 100 yards.
he reminds me of when Dez Bryant went south, and he still wanted to convince everybody in the NFL that he was Dez Bryant, and he couldn't fool anybody. And then Colin Cowherd actually did side-by-side stats with just like this unknown receiver, and it's like he goes, that's Dez Bryant now. And I'm wondering if Stephon Diggs has now become Dez Bryant beyond being Dez Bryant.
You think so?
I mean, look, they didn't even double him in this game.
No, they didn't.
And he's got a huge cap number. So what's another $3 million if you let him walk? Because like when I didn't mention this yesterday, but Peter, you saw this. He flipped out on Allen last year in the Cincinnati game, the playoff game, right? Sunday he misses a ball. He drops a ball, and he holds his hand up like an inch. Like he's holding up an inch. Like, you just missed it, Josh. It's like, you're going to keep showing up your quarterback who's basically carrying you on his back? Get out of here. I'm done with you.
You don't need to worry about Steph till he starts doing sit-ups in his driver like T.O.
God, that was my favorite. That was my favorite.
Get your popcorn
ever.
ready.
I loved when he did that.
Yeah, that was, and that's the first thing I thought of when I saw that, thinking, okay, let's say all of us, everybody, athlete or not athlete, when we make an error, we're usually like, when we pat our chest, my bad, or I'm sorry, am I wrong?
Right.
You don't hold up your index finger and thumb and say, yeah, that close, if it was your fault, right? Just like, no. I think that was, to Dan's point, personally, I think that was, Josh, I would have had it if it was No. That was an unbelievable throw. And 25-mile-per-hour wind.
Oh my God, he threw it like
60
63
yards.
yards. Yeah,
65 yards in the air
65.
on a dime.
Did he
And
bend
he
it more
was
than
there and he
pass?
missed it.
the
What's that?
Did he bend it more than pass?
Would you stop?
Oh,
This
God.
poor kid.
well, Bass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's getting death threats. Also,
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I understand.
also, we got $100,000 for his cat
For
charity.
Oh, over.
charity.
250
yeah,
now.
10 lives.
yeah.
Something 250.
Now, yeah, a bunch of celebrities have picked this up.
That's cool.
It was on the Today Show.
At least it wasn't
Today
as bad
Show
as
had
when
it.
Leotis McKelvin fumbled that punt against the Pats years ago and they lit his front yard on fire.
Oh gosh.
Oh God,
They wrote "Take a knee" in spray paint.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, there are some bad. And every organization, but it feels like when it gets dark, the Bills are at the front of the line. I feel like when some of these reactions.
The was kind of I enjoyed the some of these things when Gabe Davis, where the fans are just God,
that
they
was
were
awesome.
relentless to Gabe Davis,
Yeah.
who's been injured, and they're screaming, "You can't run around." Bye, Gabe. You suck. Now, I think Gabe has said he's going to test free agency.
Yeah.
He did. He said that, and then there was a follow-up question. You want to make some sort of pact with the Buffalo? Well, of course I do. I would love to sign here with Buffalo. But the first comment was, I'm testing out free agency.
He's going to get number
So-
2 receiver money somewhere, and
Yeah.
that's crazy.
And
He'll
good-
get it.
and
He'll
good for
get it.
him.
He'll get it.
He
He'll
should.
get it.
He should.
He'll get it.
So overall,
He'll get it. So
Peter, what do you think? You looked at this. How many times have you watched the tape of this game? How much?
too many.
Yeah,
Too many.
just tortured yourself.
Too many. Yeah. It was. Yeah, I watched that final drive a lot. Trying to figure out. Everybody's blaming Josh for that throw to Shakir in the end zone, and I'm not on that. I'm not going to follow that. The crowd, the masses saying Josh, made a bad throw. It wasn't a great throw, but it wasn't the read underneath the Diggs. That wasn't the read either. That wasn't one of the progressions. Just by the way the play, he had Shakir for a touchdown. I'm not going to say that was a bad throw because it wasn't, but the one thing that Josh needs to do more of, and we've seen it all year, so an accumulation of his body of work throughout the year, he needs to get back in the offseason to get back to fundamentals. And I want him hanging out with Jordan Palmer all summer. I don't want to see, and this is my own opinion. This is me talking. I don't want to see him at the celebrity Josh Allen. I don't want to see that this offseason. I don't want to see the Kentucky Derby. I don't want to see Toronto Blue Jays camp. I don't want that. I want to see the Joe Burrow who goes to. I don't want to hear. I
want to go to the Formula One races. I love
Game
that
shows.
shit.
I mean, he was everywhere. The PGA Championship,
Yeah.
the Master. He was everywhere.
Well, he's a member of Oak Hill.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he can't have fun. I'm not saying that.
No.
But I remember the story about Joe Burrow, the guy who goes to bed at 8:00, and just that's the type of dedication I want to see.
I
And
want
I
my
think if
quarterback in bed by. I
Wait, do
understand
you mean
exactly.
you want Tom Brady?
Yeah, I mean Tom Brady, the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Could you be?
If it brings you 6
Let me-
Super Bowls, why wouldn't
we,
you?
we have a couple of
Right.
ladies, Stephanie Ide and Laura's in.
Hello, Steph.
Hi.
And Laura's here as well. And
Oh, Lord.
could you be with someone who went to bed at 8:00?
No.
No,
Nope. I'm too much of a night owl.
you
To
are.
a all night finger and flowers.
I could.
Yeah.
That's fine.
An 8 p.m.er?
Yeah, if they
'Cause
want to. That doesn't
I
mean
think
I have
I-
to go to bed that
5
early.
months. For 5 months. For 5 months.
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't have to go to bed that early.
Now,
but
what if it
fine.
was what's his name? Ted.
Travis Kelce.
No. Who's
The Steph Teddy Bear?
Yeah, who's the actor?
Seth MacFarlane?
No.
Oh,
Mark
Mark
Wahlberg?
Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg goes to bed at 7 p.m.
Why?
and gets up at 3 in the morning.
He's incredibly disciplined with his
Workout.
He works
Workout,
out.
his
He
diet,
He meditates. He
his faith.
prays.
No.
Yeah,
that's
he does
too
all that.
rigid.
And then yeah.
You know who else used to go to bed at 8:00? I find this hard to believe. At the advice of Steve Tasker, Thurman Thomas during the season.
Yeah.
Now during Super Bowl week, that was a different story.
Oh,
4 straight years.
maybe we don't know.
No, we nobody wants to talk about it, but I'll say it.
We
Peter
don't
knows.
know. We didn't have cameras.
Peter
back
ran
then.
into it. Peter knows. He's like,
I mean, if you need to do it for your profession to make
Yeah.
you excel, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I could
handle
not do it. Like, that couldn't be my
I have a
full-time partner.
my
someone
college
who goes to bed
roommate.
at 7 o'clock. What the
My
hell?
college roommate, who just moved down to Tampa, he and his wife built a house down there. Both their kids one's a senior in college, one's a freshman. and they decided they sold their house in Syracuse. He would go to bed at 8 or 9 o'clock at night. He would get up between 3 and 4, go to the gym and do 10 miles on an elliptical every day, and then go to work. That's what he did. And he looks like he hasn't aged, and he sleeps and all that. And he, it's great. At parties, he leaves early. That's it.
What the heck?
I know.
Something to
Everybody
consider
does
for
The
that.
rest of us
At, like,
undisciplined
9.
ones over here hammering drinks.
Well, I hear you. I mean, I understand what you're saying. Look, you're making, what is it, $172 million deal for Josh? What is the number?
Yeah, I think
Something
it's
around
$46
there?
million
I
a
think
year.
even more than that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
But what I'm thinking is like the Jordan Palmer comment was like there are a couple things in the game, and we've seen it throughout the year. Like that one throw to Shakir, where I started this, is that he had a pocket to step up into.
Yes, thank you, Peter.
He had a huge pocket to step up into. So the momentum of the DN wasn't going to stop on the dime and come back up field. So he had time. So if he feels it or sees it peripherally, he still can step up and make that throw, the throw you need in order to get there to Shakir. So that could have happened. That could have and should have happened.
Kenny gets all excited at these points. He's like a Cocker Spaniel. Sees
I'm sorry. Yeah.
sees a
But
fox.
Peter knows this because when Peter used to do play-by-play at Fisher games, he'd hold his finger up, and the play-by-play guy would be like, "Peter's got a thought. Hang on, we're getting to it." And the Fisher would be in no huddle, and he's like writing stuff down because he's got to break down the entire offense in 30 seconds. But Greg Cosell, who's an NFL film guy, who's on now everywhere, goes, Allen needs to learn, like what Peter said, how to climb the pot and not give up on plays so easily on his receivers. If you let the routes develop, they're there. But when you take off and run, now the receivers all have to break out of their routes, and it's a free-for-all every time.
Well,
And Bill, it's not that he doesn't do it all the time, but he does. He has a propensity to leave the pocket too soon, and the play breaks down, and it becomes a free-for-all out there. So he needs to get back to that mental clock, whatever he needs to do for repetition's sake, to get him more comfortable, a little less feet happy in the pocket, because there's many throws this year where he pulled that ball down. Not to say he ran for yards, but he ran out of the pocket, and now the whole field's gone. Now you're only using half the field. Now the receivers are out of their route. They're coming back towards the quarterback so he can make a play.
yeah.
And again, free for all. So too many times he did that, and we saw big time that he did it. He didn't rush out of the pocket, but he just threw off his back foot, which is that Shakir attempt.
The thing that was interesting to me is, they talk about Mahomes, and I think the argument is that he and Josh together, probably the two most talented. I'm not saying best. I'm just saying most talented in the NFL playing the position right now. But then you look at Mahomes. This is 6 straight AFC championships. It's pretty damn impressive. But that's a guy who seems to have, I don't know if he trusts the overall team. They weren't an offensive juggernaut the way they had been in past seasons. But if you looked at it, it was like, if you look at the stat sheet, everything was on Josh. And if you look at the stat sheet with Mahomes, it wasn't. There wasn't as many passing attempts. There weren't as many, you know what I mean? And I know they ran a lot, Buffalo, but I still think the leading rusher might have been Josh Allen. So
He was.
is some of that like the Joe Brady thing. There's been a couple of people, including Danny, who doesn't think Joe Brady will be back as the offensive coordinator
Or
next
should
year.
be back. I don't know. He might, but I don't think he should.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple people who are saying they don't think he will be.
He interviewed today, I guess.
Yeah.
And in the press conference, in McDermott's press conference, which I have trouble just stomaching, just too many platitudes throughout the year. It's so hard to listen to. It's just coach speak, and nothing came out of that. Everybody waits. The Bill sent tweets. McDermott live. I can't even deal with it anymore. Anyway, he was saying how he was trying to magnify the fact that he is a pass first guy.
Yes, he was.
Paraphrasing.
Yes, he was. He did.
Because
he did say
coached
that.
under Reed, right? Well, because he coached Reed, and Reed's pass first. That's where my tutelage is under him. So more or less, this is all about it's a passing league. My God, we threw the ball behind the line of scrimmage 16 times on Sunday. 16.
Okay, that's a lot.
And I understand, you try to make it as a glorified run, but that's not going to win you a ball game against the Chiefs,
especially when they're
in
getting
the divisional
backfield.
playoffs.
Right.
What do you? I mean, we hear like, what's next season? what does next season
What?
look like for you?
Do
we think it's? I mean, do we think it'll be worse? It could be worse, right? I mean, the cap hits. And all
Sure.
that. Yeah.
People are getting better. Look how many coaches are changing hands. You got Harbaugh going to the Chargers with a great quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, there's things are happening. You're going to see more things happening in the offseason. Better drafts. Bills don't have any money. Bills don't have a cap. Or they have a cap, but it's breached pretty much. So everybody's going to be fighting to beat the Chiefs, to beat the Bills, to beat Baltimore. You know, we don't make the splash signing. We did with Diggs, but I mean, we had a chance to go get OBJ. We had a chance to go get his name's escaping me
D-Hop.
from Arizona.
Yeah.
D-Hop.
Yeah. So whatever the it's beyond me what the financial permutations of making that happen would have been. I have no idea.
$60 million over the cap after you add everything together. $44 million now, plus you have to add in the futures contracts, the rookie contracts, and emergencies. $60 million. Thad Brown from Channel 8 said. So now you have to work your way out of that. They will, but
Danny knows all this.
it's going to take a while.
But Beth asked him to pick up some milk, almond milk. Danny couldn't remember.
There's no room in the
The
brain.
mind
for
of a
that.
man.
No.
The mind of a male.
I forgot.
Did you really?
Is
I was kidding.
Mind of a male.
Is the play with McDermott to keep him around at this point for this next season, not hoping that they fall backwards, but then it gives Pagula the out to say, you know what, 4 straight, but see ya.
I felt like it would have happened, Kevin. Now, what's even stranger is that Belichick hasn't been picked up. The Falcons hired their coach. It was kind of a shock. Everybody thought they were going to hire, but he's still hanging out there.
He's going to be Miles' defensive
That
coordinator.
Kansas City rumor is still hanging around. That Andy
Peter,
Reid.
did you hear that? Did you hear the KC rumor?
No, I did not. I did not.
The KC rumors that Andy Reid, he's 65
I
years
heard
old.
it today.
That's not the rumor.
too.
The rumor is, and I ran this by Jeff Chadia, and he thought it was interesting too from NFL Network because I talked to him a little bit, and he said that Andy Reid's 65 years old. Now Jeff, he covered the Chiefs for a while in KC, so he's got relationships there. It's not out of the realm of possibility that he retires. He's got a kid in jail, another kid who's dead.
Yeah.
He's a big man. Guys his size really don't live that long, and it's not. And so there's been talk that he's been willing to leave. And the two names that are coming up who are still out there are Bill Belichick and Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, I'm surprised Vrabel hasn't been picked up.
Right.
He interviewed in Carolina,
Vrabel
which
was
he must
here.
really love football. If he
Yeah.
interviewed in Carolina.
He was in Carolina yet. Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
Carolina
I
hired their
read that
guy.
was news. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they hired
today.
their guy. Yep.
The Vrabel was in Carolina this morning.
Oh, wow.
And I only know that because my brother who's on the Monday Night Football crew, actually, he was taken off for San Francisco because he's actually working that game,
Okay.
Frisco, Detroit. And he says, I'm in line with Vrabel. Well, he doesn't live here. No, he's flying to whatever connection. He said, he must have been interviewing with Carolina last night or yesterday because it was early in the morning when he was in line with Vrabel this morning. So
Peter,
who knows?
I would like to. I think that this is audio of Bass's kick that went wide right that I'm pretty sure you have not heard.
If it is the Hong Kong or Taiwan or
the Korean call.
Korean one, yes.
Have you heard it?
Yes.
Oh,
My favorite.
it's one of my. I love the international games, but now I mean, look, they're going to be playing in Brazil, they're playing in Germany, they're playing in London. Here's the Korean call, just one more time.
모든 문들을 다 닫았어요. 그렇기 때문에 조시 앨런 선수가 오른쪽으로 나오면서 시간을 벌어봤지만 오픈된 리시버를 찾을 수 없었습니다. 44야드 거리입니다. 타일러 베스. 오른쪽으로 벗어났어요.
Somebody's gonna kill him.
He's like Godzilla.
It's crazy.
You know what?
That
If he
was
made
phenomenal.
it,
That
though,
was
would
hysterical.
he made headlines and praise? No, they'd be like, Josh scored this touchdown.
Yes.
Josh did this.
Well,
it's
yeah.
like he doesn't get the praise.
But that's your one job.
You have one
Stephanie.
job.
You got one job.
You kick a football.
Peter, we would like to end tonight with a quiz, you versus Danny. So we're going to ask Danny to leave the studio.
Code's 5012. Dave, if
Five
you got it.
questions. And I'm going to pass out paper. Can somebody...
I got it.
You'll write down the answers?
I will.
All right.
Am I writing down Peter's answers or the actual?
You're going to
answer?
write down Peter's answers, and then you're going to write down Danny's answers, and then we're going to compare the two.
Okay.
All right, so Danny is out of the
Wow.
studio. Danny's out of the studio.
Okay.
Do you mind?
All right.
These are all
Rock
just
and roll.
Buffalo. These are all Buffalo Bills related. Here we go.
Okay.
Steph and I are playing too.
We're playing.
Who holds the Buffalo Bills single season record for the most receiving yards? Single season record.
Eric Moulds.
In what year did the Buffalo Bills last win an AFC championship?
An AFC championship. In
Yeah.
what year?
Yep.
Okay, the season or the year that they actually won
I say
it?
the year that they actually won it.
The year they actually won
we
it.
could say, let's go with the season. You're right.
Okay, let's go with the season. So that would be 1995.
Which Buffalo Bills player holds the franchise record for most career interceptions?
Ooh, most career interceptions. Mark Kelso.
That's what I was thinking too.
Against which team did the Buffalo Bills secure their first ever playoff victory? Which team did they secure their first ever playoff victory against?
God, that's a good question. Oh man. Let's see, 1962, 760. New York Jets.
And final question, who was the head coach of the Buffalo Bills when they appeared in 4 consecutive Super Bowls from 90 to 93?
Marv Levy.
All right. Now we need to go get Danny. And we're going to, is he still, hey guys.
You got to cover those up.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
Danny's not
look
going to
over.
see. Danny's not going to see. All right, Peter, just sit quietly. We're going to ask Danny the same
All right.
questions.
All right. I won't react
You
if
are
I'm right or wrong.
smirking.
Yeah, okay.
You're ready for this, Danny.
I have no idea if I am or not.
All right, here we go. Danny?
Yes.
Who holds the Buffalo Bills single season record for the most receiving yards?
Andre Reed.
In what year did the Buffalo Bills last win an AFC championship?
It was
Year
the
season.
It was the 1993 season. The Super Bowl was played in '94, though. Let's get that clear.
Which Buffalo Bills player holds the franchise record for most career interceptions?
Most career interceptions. I don't think it was Butch Bird. I think it
It's a great guess, by the way.
might be Butch. I think it's. I want to say Nate Odums.
Should have kept my mouth shut. I feel like I was influencing things there, and I shouldn't have. I'm not saying you're right or
Okay,
wrong,
whatever, keep
but I
going.
didn't do that for Peter. That's not fair. Against which team did the Buffalo Bills secure their first ever playoff victory?
Playoff victory. If we're going back to the AFL, then we would have to say, oh gosh, they beat the Chargers in the AFL championships, but I think that they beat was it the Jets to get there?
And who was the head coach of the Buffalo Bills when they appeared in 4 consecutive Super Bowls from 1990
No,
to
come on, it's
1992?
Marv Levy.
Okay.
You got anything else?
All right.
Totally screwed up.
I have my answers written down too.
Okay.
Swinging.
All right.
Oh man, I messed up and I'm embarrassed.
Hang on now. We don't
He's
know.
been Googling.
Who holds the Buffalo Bills single season record for the most receiving yards? What did Peter say?
Eric Moulds.
What did Danny say?
Andre Reed.
The answer is Eric Moulds. 1,368 receiving yards in the 1998 season.
Here, Danny.
Oh, we're talking single season.
Yes, that's what I said.
Oh,
Single
I thought you meant. Okay.
All right.
didn't
Okay.
say
All right.
I'm sorry. I misheard you. I thought you meant total.
In what year did the Buffalo Bills last win an AFC championship? It was missed. It should have said what season, right?
It was, Peter and I both know it's 93.
Okay, wait. No. What did
I
Peter
messed
say?
up, buddy.
Peter said 1995.
Danny
I
said.
messed up.
I said 93.
And 93 is the right answer.
95, they won the
Yes.
division
I said
title.
94.
In
Yeah,
95, they
yeah.
beat Miami, and then they never won a playoff game
They lost
again
to-
until
right. They lost to the
2020.
Jaguars. They lost to the Jags. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I can't believe I said
No,
that.
that was 96, Peter. They lost to the Jags in 96. They lost to Pittsburgh in 95. Neil O'Donnell.
Oh, at Pittsburgh.
Remember Kelly
That's
got knocked out?
These are like
Kelly got knocked out of the game. Van Pelt came in. Then Kelly came back.
I can hear every vagina in the room just drying up right now.
No, it's just the flowers. Which Buffalo Bills player holds the franchise record for the most career interceptions? Danny, let's start with Peter. Peter said.
Peter said Mark Kelso.
Danny
He's
said.
buddies with Kelso. I said Nate Odoms officially, but maybe it was Butch Bird.
It was Billy Atkins who recorded 28
Wow. Okay.
from 61 to 69. Bird's a great guess, though. Butch Bird.
That is a good guess. I didn't think of him.
Against which team did the Buffalo Bills secure their first ever playoff victory? Peter said.
Both said the Jets.
The Jets. The Buffalo Bills secured their first ever playoff victory against the Denver Broncos on Christmas Eve, 1966, 31-24.
Wait a minute. That's 60. No, that doesn't make sense. Because in 64 and 65, they won AFL titles. So how could their first playoff victory be in 66?
Let's see. When did they win them?
64 and 65. They beat the Chargers in both.
65.
So how could they win their first playoff game in
This is
66?
the first NFL playoff game in 66?
Okay, who wrote these
It might have
questions?
been when they.
I want an investigation.
Now you know how I feel when Mark Hillman comes at me.
Wait, the Buffalo Bills secured their first ever playoff victory against the Denver Broncos. I think this is
ChatGPT screwing up.
it is ChatGPT. I will
Okay.
give you that. But I think they mean the NFL. I don't
Okay.
think they, but maybe AFL because they were AFL
I think we need a
champions. in
tiebreaker question.
Who was the head coach of the Buffalo Bills when? And you both said Marv Levy.
Marv
That
Levy.
is the correct answer. So
It was 2-2,
2-2.
right?
1-1, 2-2 with Levy. Yes.
Yeah, 2-2 with Levy.
Okay.
No, well,
We
you know
need
what?
a
Phil?
tiebreaker.
We might have to just leave it as a.
Peter,
as a
who was the head
push.
coach that
I
resurrected
like
OJ?
ties.
And
My
actually, I
kissing
got
sister.
two as well, so I'm in this.
Peter, who was the head coach that resurrected OJ Simpson's career? You know this.
Lou Saban.
Yes,
Lou
Lou
Saban.
Saban. If it weren't for Lou-
Tie-breaking question. Did OJ do it?
Peter doesn't think so.
Yeah.
Oh, you do think so
I
now?
did. I didn't for years.
Oh, okay,
I
you
didn't for
switched.
years.
All
You
right.
didn't think so for
I did.
years.
I did. No, I didn't for years.
Peter and I
Yeah.
are obsessed with OJ. We could just do an OJ podcast. It would last like 3 episodes.
I
So
need
we'd
to
cover
send-
Bill,
everything.
I was so Bill. This is very talking about vaginas drying up. Listen to this one. This. I had a wedding. I watched that trial like it was my job. Like it was my job. I had a wedding in L.A. in 1990. Call it 98. It was a work wedding, so I wasn't with anybody at the time. So a bunch of work guys went by ourselves, and I wasn't a golfer at the time either. And all these guys had golf tee time set up. So I said to myself, all right, you know what I'm going to do?
Did you
When everybody said, "What are you going to do today?" I'm like, I'm just going to hang out, watch a movie, whatever. I'm in LA. Like, no, I'm not.
Wait a second. You went to Brentwood?
Did you rent a Bronco
did.
drive the 405?
You went to Brentwood.
Wow, that's cool.
I went to her condo. I wanted to see for myself.
Wait, you went and did an event? You fucking insane.
I did.
What
I
year
did.
was
I
this?
did. 98?
98.
98?
Yeah, I missed it.
Yeah.
All right, so 1998, so we're talking 4 years later.
They hadn't remodeled the house
Right.
at that point then, right, Peter?
They had remodeled it. There was a fencing up, but the whole entire outline of condos right there. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, wait a minute. So I went behind the condo, and what I noticed is in the driveway where they said the Bronco was parked, where he had to walk up the walkway, kill them, get back in the car. So all I noticed in the driveway was very tiny little pebbles as the driveway. So it's not pavement, it's not concrete. It was tiny little pebbles. And I said to myself, okay, if there was that much blood on his shoes, why weren't there any tiny little pebbles in the crevices of the accelerator and the brake pad in the Bronco?
Did you take some pebbles?
Why not?
That's a great question. That's a great question.
I didn't.
Take some pebbles.
I felt bad after I looked over the fence gate. There was a sign there, which was the alleyway that went to the front door, that said, please respect our family's privacy. I'm like, all right, now I feel bad. And this is 1998. I'm literally on her property trying to, oh, there's the knife. No, I just wanted to get a feel of everything they talked about in court. I wanted to get a feel for myself, the intersection, the busyness. I wanted to get a feel. That's why I did it.
I think that's cool.
We have a house in Webster you can investigate in about 4 years. The flowers keep coming.
That's All right. Well, I think it is interesting to go see. It's certainly the biggest thing in pop culture at the time.
Since then, they've actually reassigned the street number for the house and rebuilt the house so that, like, if you pass by it, you'd have no idea that was where OJ did it, supposedly.
Nope. Yeah,
You have no idea.
Yeah, they did knock the condo down, but they just refaced it, and they knocked his Brentwood mansion down. Someone bought it and they knocked it right down years ago.
And they found like a contractor's knife in the crater that they thought that was OJ's knife, and it wasn't.
Kevin sent me a TikTok of a woman who was.
Oh my God.
No, he sent me a TikTok of a woman. Now, I want to play this. I think we can do it here. Listen to this. All right. So this is a reporter who's going around with him. Looks like he's at the Santa Monica Pier area. I don't know where he is. There's palm trees and all.
OJ.
And so they're doing almost like a little day in the life of OJ or something like that.
Played some skee ball.
So this woman came up to him, and I don't know if you could hear it, but she said, "Hey," and she goes, "I've always wanted to shake the hand, or I've never shaken the hand of a murderer before."
Oh, fuck.
Right.
Years
Now,
ago.
I got to just say, to me, shut up, you narcissistic bitch.
Right.
Because
This looks like late 90s, early
it is.
2000s.
But
I remember
and
when
the
it
only
happened.
reason I say that is, what are you going to do? Go brag to all your friends as you're sitting around drinking wine?
Yeah.
I went up.
Right,
I went up to OJ. I told him he was a murderer.
Right.
He got away with it. Your opinion means nothing.
Right.
You changed nothing.
Yeah.
You made yourself feel good, you narcissistic piece of crap. I just, that would annoy. Like, honest to God, I may see OJ and go, that's a guy I'm not going to go stand next to because I'm not going to support someone who I believe killed his
That's
wife.
all.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't need to go tell the world, hey, guess what I did? I don't need to do that. She couldn't wait to get on camera.
Yeah, great story.
And then it just hurt your feeling. Now listen to this.
said to me that he had a surprise for me, and I genuinely was surprised. I think it was his idea of a joke, and this is it.
OJ opens the door. He has a banana in his hand, and he goes slash her when she knocks on his door. She's in a hotel or something to do the interview.
Yeah,
And I think it's a banana in his hand, and he goes, he's the one making that noise.
Right.
Now that, I go, all right, you want to go say he shook the hand of a murderer? Fine.
They used to
OJ, is there a banana in your hand? You're just happy to see me.
when he lived in Miami before the La Vegas incident, that threw him in jail for years. They used to call him the Godfather. Like, he'd be out partying with young kids like all the time and like do a lot of drugs and stuff like that. I mean, he was living the life.
He was living a life. He was, trying to escape.
I mean, I remember this last story for this from me. It's like the summer of '94 is when it happened. So I think the summer of '94 was the preliminary hearing. So I was actually obviously in college. I had a summer job. I was working as a janitor in a local high school. It was a summer job. So the guys that were in there, we would watch the preliminary hearing during lunch. And this guy, my boss actually at the time, can't remember the guy's name for the life of me, but he was obsessed with O.J. Simpson. Like, obsessed. He's like, no way he did it, no way he did it. And he comes up to me one day and goes, listen, I need you to write a letter to O.J. for me. I said, what?
You were ChatGPT before ChatGPT.
I said, what are you talking about? I want to write a letter to him, and I just don't know how to like put it together in words, and however he was explaining it to us. Yeah, all right. So I went home one night. I literally wrote a letter, and I gave it to him. I said, "What do you think? If you like it, you send it." Oh, this is great. Okay, so he sends the letter. I don't know how many months after, but OJ had a book published of all the letters that he received.
Stop it.
No.
Your letter's in there?
Yes, and my letter's in there.
Wow.
But with this guy's name, but it gets even better. Lisa Gibbons at the time had a talk show,
Oh, I remember this. Lisa.
and they chose him, one of the people that sent a letter to OJ, to be on the show
So you wrote
because of that letter.
What
And
was
I'm the one who wrote the letter.
All right, what did the letter say that was so compelling?
Bill, I don't remember. The book is still out there. I could probably look if I want to.
I think the book's called
It's called
I Want to Tell You?
OJ. I want to tell you.
I Want to Tell You by O.J. Simpson. 'Cause
I Want to Tell You.
This is between the preliminary hearing and the trial. He wrote and released the book because he needed to raise money for his defense. So he wrote that book.
then he
And
ended
I
up.
think the guy's last name is Tomasello. I think it was Tomasello. So, and they put the names of the people that wrote the letter in the book.
Wow.
And obviously he penned his name. He put his, and I read the letter. I'm like, this is my letter. He didn't even change a word or a sentence.
While you were in college.
Your juice.
You were doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Wow. See?
Yep.
Hey, college boy, come write me a letter. Look at that. That's impressive. That's really impressive.
Cool.
I think those are two
Crazy.
good. Yeah, I think those are two good stories. The flowers came back to life as you told those stories.
That's E.T.
Yeah. All right, Peter. We're gonna have to leave it as a tie because any of the other questions. I mean, the most receiving yards in franchise history. Danny knows that. You know that, right? No,
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's nothing really left. So for now, we'll call it a tie.
Who scored the first touchdown in Bill's history, Pete?
In Bill's history, first touchdown?
No, the first touchdown in Super Bowl history for the Buffalo Bills. My mistake.
Oh, Don Smith.
Don Smith.
Yep.
All right, there you go. All
Yep.
right. All right.
Yeah.
Peter, it's been a pleasure, and hopefully the Lions win, and we'll talk to you again.
I'd love it.
All right.
You
Thanks.
guys are great.
Bye.
Steph, are you engaged yet?
I already asked her about the ring on her finger.
It's coming.
But,
No, I'm not.
count
engaged.
it.
Oh, okay. All right.
You've been
All right.
following
All
the
right.
story?
Yeah.
Of course. Yes. Everybody does.
Send it to
Oh
OJ.
my god. Maybe you
I'm
should
gonna
write
bring
a
him.
letter to Mike for me. No.
Hey, I'm open. Now I charge. I know it's free.
All right. Thanks, Peter.
Thanks,
All right,
Pete.
guys. You bet. Later on. See you. Bye.
Wow. That's interesting stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Who
He's
knew?
a cool dude.
Yes, he is. He's got a lot of, and he hangs out with Danny. Who knew? Just kidding, Danny. I'm just kidding. All right, we'll take a moment. When we come back, I have lots of things to ask. Lots of things.
Okay.
Well, Valentine's Day is coming up. I mean, he just brought up the engagement possibility. I don't know.
What?
What do you mean, what? Don't act all shocked.
Oh my God!
I
Steph
told
would
him. I
like-
told him we wanted. It has to be done on the show.
I've heard rumors.
No.
I've heard rumors of things. Yeah. No, I've
Rumors.
heard. Yes.
We'll have to chat after the break.
We will get into all that. But first.
Mark's gonna propose.